Daring Greatly, written by prestigious researcher and author Brene Brown, is a groundbreaking book that gives a new perspective on the concept of vulnerability, suggesting that it is a sign of strength rather than weakness. This engaging work of non-fiction is packed with research, insight, and personal anecdotes that challenge our traditional thought processes and push us to welcome vulnerability, embrace it, and grow from it. In the beginning, Brown identifies vulnerability as uncertainty, risk, and emotional exposure, and introduces the paradox of vulnerability, expressing how we view it in ourselves as a weakness, but in others as courage. Based on her extensive research and interviews, she explains how vulnerability is essential for a meaningful life. It is necessary to take risks, to be open to fear, and to deal with the sense of being emotionally naked. Brown doesn't stop at redefining vulnerability. She also argues convincingly about its role as a prerequisite for creativity, innovation, and change. She demonstrates the difference between armored leadership and daring leadership. The former is characterized by being always in control and knowing all the answers, giving no room for vulnerability, while the latter encourages risk-taking, owning up to mistakes, and constant learning, fostering creativity and innovation. The author describes how shame is a huge barrier to becoming vulnerable. She identifies shame resilience as the antidote to breaking down this barrier. Shame resilience involves understanding our triggers, reaching out to others for empathy, and speaking out about shame. Brown takes us deeper into understanding the cultural pressures of shame by addressing its impact on women and men differently. For women, it revolves around unattainable expectations of doing it all flawlessly, while for men, it's the pressure to appear strong and emotionless. Daring Greatly distinctly provides a unique view of parenting too. By daring to be vulnerable ourselves, we can raise our children to be courageous and empathetic. Brown highlights the importance of letting kids experience discomfort or struggle, teaching them how to deal with such situations, and showing them it's okay to ask for help. Midway through the book, Brown presents the idea of wholehearted living a life full of courage, compassion, and connection. According to her, by confronting our feelings of shame and fear and embracing vulnerability, we can live wholeheartedly. She emphasizes building connections with others through empathy, which reinforces the idea that we are not alone in our struggle. Additionally, the book unravels vulnerability myths. It confronts myths like vulnerability being the same as oversharing, or a person can opt out of vulnerability. By debunking these common misconceptions, Brown reframes vulnerability as something brave, not weak. Towards the end, Brown introduces the idea of foreboding joy, the fear that strikes when things are going well, prompting us to anticipate disaster. She recommends leaning into joy instead, i.e., allowing ourselves to fully experience and appreciate the good moments in life. Daring Greatly is a transformative read that implores the reader to embrace their vulnerabilities rather than suppressing them. It is filled with actionable advice and provides a plethora of tools and techniques to combat shame, foster deeper connections, and cultivate a life of courage and authenticity. Essentially, it guides readers on a journey of self-discovery, inspiring them to dare greatly, live wholeheartedly, and embrace the power of vulnerability. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe to the channel and feel free to leave any requests in the comments.